Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I'm going to share a junk journal page tutorial with you today. It's been a while since I've done one, so I thought I would do that today. I'm working on a journal that's 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper folded in half to make it 8.5 by 5.5. So I've got a dictionary page here that's just slightly smaller than 8.5 by 11, just because it fits my journal. I went ahead and used the Radiant Red digital download that's in my shop and printed one of the pages that I just really love. And after I printed it, I cut it into 1-inch strips. Now this is just on copy paper because I was using this as an embellishment and I wanted it thin. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to make sure that they're the same length as my page, and then I'll cut off the excess. Once I have that trimmed, I'll use my distress ink. I'm using walnut stain and a blending tool, and I'm going to go ahead and blend the edges of these pieces. I've got an 8.5 by 11 piece of text weight paper. Think, you know, back in like the 90s when everybody would send out a Christmas letter on red paper. Well, that's pretty much where this is from. And so what I've done is I've taken this and I've cut it into 4 pieces. So basically cutting it in half, cutting it in half again. So I end up with 4 pieces that are approximately 5.5 by 4.25 in size. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay them onto my scrap of paper. And I've got one of the zigzaggy type stitches from the Shabby Stitches stamp set, say that fast 5 times, in my shop. And so I'm going to use this one with some black ink. I'm just using the Graphite Black Brilliance ink. And I'm going to stamp this around the edges, like that. I'm just going to keep doing all 4 sides. And I'll do that on all 4 pieces of paper. See how that turned out? Kind of cute, huh? Now I'm just going to add some distress ink to the 4 edges of all 4 of these pieces. So now I'm going to attach them to this piece of paper here. This is what I think is a cool way to add a little bit of color to maybe some junk that you have and be able to spread it across several pages, you know, for a very minimal amount, because 1-inch strip of paper isn't going to be that expensive. If you want to invest in a fancy paper, you could even do pretty ribbon as well. I mean, it's just to add a touch of color if you want. And I like doing this because it decorates that book page, which you wouldn't normally use as a place to write, because we're decorating it and we're going to add these pieces of paper to it. Now you got a place to write. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue the back side and put it in the center of each side. See how plain that looks without it? And then as we start building it, the color just, I don't know, pops up off the page. It just makes me want to sit down and doodle or journal on it. So what do you think? Isn't that looking really neat? Let me get the other piece of paper out from behind it. But isn't that looking really neat? But wait, I'm not done. So here's what I'm going to do next. Is I've got the Romantic Swirl stamp. Mine is mounted. Normally it comes unmounted with cushion that you can stick to an acrylic block like I did with the stitches. Mine's mounted. But it comes in the Radiant Red Creative box. And I'm just going to ink it up with some black ink again. And I'm going to stamp it right over the corner. You see that? I'm going to do it on this side as well. And I'm going to flip it over and do it on the other side. And I just think it adds a little neat texture. So now I've got some eyelash yarn. And I'm just going to snip about 4 pieces and lay it here on my desk. Then I've got some images from the Radiant Red kit. I've already gone around the edges with some distress ink, just in the walnut stain. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little bit of this fiber in the corner. Get rid of this excess stuff here. Then I'm going to take my tacky glue and pick up one of the images here and put some glue on the back side and catch that fiber in there. I'll put like a stamp block on it and push it for a moment. And then I'm going to grab one of the other embellishments and glue it down the same way over a piece of the little fluffy eyelash trim. Eyelash yarn. I always say trim, it's really yarn. I just realized I was doing something out of order because I want to put some other trim on this page. So I'm going to do it on the other side the correct way. And then I'll come back and do the other. So I've got this sequin trim that's part of the Radiant Red kit. And I thought it would be really cute to use some of this on the page. It's losing sequins. So if I can get it twisted around the right way. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Across the bottom here, I'm going to use the Scrap Perfect Best Glue Ever with the large writing cap. And what I'm going to do is just make a bead of glue right across the bottom here. Just a little ways up, because I don't want the sequins to go on past the page. I want them to stay on top of the page. And I like that this glue gets such a fine bead of it. And then when you're done, you want to put, I always have problems seeing that, put the tip back on. I'm going to use it again in just a moment, so I'm not going to close it completely up. But can you see that bead of glue? I hope it's showing up. Sometimes the lighting doesn't help. So I'm going to let that kind of set for a moment. And what happened with the Scrap Perfect glue is it becomes tacky and things stick better if you let it air dry just a little bit. If you can even wait until it turns clear, it's stickiest. So if you're ever using this glue, and I had problems when I first started using it, that I was always in a rush. I expected it to grab faster, and I found that if I put a little bit of glue down and let it dry for a moment, then when I went to stick something to it, it worked a whole lot better. So I thought I would share that tip. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the trim and align it with the glue and just gently tap it down into place all the way across. And I should have done this first on the other side, because now I'm going to have to move that eyelash trim out of the way so it's not up under the sequins. So I'll let this set for a moment before I trim off the excess. You could cut it before you put it on there, but I tend to wait until I've got it stuck down before I glue it. So now I'm going to put some more eyelash trim on here and finish decorating this page with these other images. I got glue on my fingers. See how that looks? Now that turned out pretty cute. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this excess here. Kind of give you a look of what half a page. I got to make sure to crease this when I go to fold it. But there's what half a page looks like. So I'm going to put the trim on the other side, and I'll be right back. What do you think? Do you think that turned out pretty cute? Adding just the layers on here gives you a whole new look to this piece of paper that wouldn't have been used for a journal, but now that we've decorated it, we've given it a little bit of bling, we've given us some writing space on there. I think it turned out pretty cute. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. I am very close to 10,000 subscribers, and when I start that journey of getting to 10,000, we will have some giveaways here on my channel. So you want to make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button at the top so that you know when I'm having a giveaway and how to enter. I am live on Mondays at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, so do come back and check those out as well, because I do a lot of giveaways and we have tutorials for however long it takes until it's complete. And we are looking at, or I don't know why I say we, I don't have a mouse in my pocket. I am looking at possibly doing another live stream during the week. So if you have a time that you like, let me know down below. And let's see, check out the description box for links for the products that I use and my social media connectors, including my Facebook group, The Friendly Junk Journal People, which I believe is now the largest junk journal group on Facebook, and it's awesome. I am so blessed with wonderful people that are there that are willing to help and share and keep it a friendly community. All right, everybody, have a fabulous day. Give this video a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Lots of love to you. Bye.